So
Oh, wait, no, it still says 137 though.
I thought this was 137.
I think it's.
Yeah, it's 137.
All right, fine. God.
Sorry.
Yeah,
The button hit.
The button is hit.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm Pat.
I'm Will.
I'm Jeffrey.
All right, so tell us about Coke with the umlaut.
So I hadn't listened to the show yet, and all I see is the title is just Coke with umlauts, and I'm like, well, I've never seen Coke spelled that way, so they must have been talking about some other Coke.
We coined a new one.
Yes, you did.
Why?
So I googled Coke with the umlauts, and there's actual like YouTubers and stuff like this that have that spelling.
Oh, it's their surname.
Whatever name it is, but it pops up, and there's dudes that pop up with that name, and I was like, how did they get to talk about these people? Do they know these people? I'm like, damn it, I gotta listen to the whole show.
It's like a 10-second line in there too.
I know, and it's
I
like,
can't remember why.
it's like an hour, 15 minutes in, like, I was just like,
We just liked it.
It's just normal for us, though, man. It's like just about all of our sayings come from one-offs in conversation.
Yeah, and I was just like, yeah, I almost tried to do one with the random person, and I'm like,
You should probably listen to the
right,
episode.
I better.
Right, yeah. Do they know this person?
The guys are gonna see this thing and be like,
yeah.
where the hell did you get Coke out of this? So yeah, it was a good show, but yeah, I actually had to. I couldn't piecemeal anything from the descriptions of anything in there.
Well, I like the Kirk tree, so yeah.
The Kirk.
I definitely tried to force it to make it have the fruit be Coke bottles.
It's
And
pretty good.
it was definitely struggling with it. Although some of them it had like full on Coke cities. And it was pretty like I was like, this is a cool advertisement.
Yeah,
for
that's sort of
Coke.
yeah.
Like it had the car had like it was Cokey, like the buildings all had like Coke liners going up. There were like flags. Like I was like, dude, Coke just bought a city. Like this is kind of cool.
So you guys should do this.
We should do this, yeah.
This should
Not
be
just
something. Yeah.
yeah.
This should be like their like Willy Wonka prize, but with Coke.
Yeah.
When they're trying to find the new heir to Coke.
Right. The Willy Wonka version of Coke.
Yeah, and you're gonna.
What is the Coke version of Willy Wonka, I guess?
Well, so I guess
So I'm picturing like Colonel Sanders, but with a striped suit.
if you ask me right now, if you say like who's running Coke right now, I picture some like fucking. I mean, he's like a nephew of like Milton Coke or whatever it is.
Right.
And he's just like this fucking. He's from Brooklyn. He's got this fucking skinny jeans on. And,
Oh, gross, man.
Yeah. Yeah, just fucking total hipster piece of shit.
Would he drink his product?
No,
Absolutely.
no.
No.
Yeah, that's
What are you citing the Bud Light debacle? Is that what you're doing?
Sure.
Wait, they don't drink their product? Well, I guess probably.
No, the fucking
No.
the woman that caused all this trouble in the first place
The-
despises the product.
Is that Dylan Mulvaney?
Well, no, that's
the advertiser thing or the
Oh no,
The-
the advertiser lady.
the
Yeah.
advertiser
or
lady.
the
No.
the actual
Oh.
advertiser lady. Okay, the one that is gone, and the rest of the people that are gone, right? That are all on like leave, right? She like famously at the beginning, she's like, "I don't like the reputation this beer has. I don't like this beer."
Okay.
My question would be, what beer does she like?
Well, she's
And I think I think I know what the answer is.
Wine cooler.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like, well, I like seltzer, or something.
no, and we're not even talking
It's like,
like
what's your favorite sport? You mean team sport? Yeah.
no. Your answer is going to be, "I don't like sports." But no, she.
Well, yeah, or like I like gymnastics or something.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, she
the
famously-
Olympics are great.
Yeah, she didn't like it, and they said like, "Okay,
Please sell our product now.
sales down 30%."
You gotta be careful about that. I got suckered by an article today on that, though.
I checked it, man. It's between 26 and 30.
What does 26 and 30 mean?
Sales down.
Oh no, I wasn't looking at that.
Oh.
So yeah, I'm not surprised by that. That's okay. It'll come back up during football season when they bring that Bud Knight back.
Oh, they're gonna overcorrect bad,
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, I'm gonna tell you,
I'm gonna do this with monster trucks now.
I'm gonna tell you, I don't think they will be getting those back.
Oh,
I
it'll
can
come.
tell you why. Because they actually measured the other guys.
Oh yeah, Molson. What's the other big one?
So Coors and Miller, they went up about 13% each.
Is Coors and Miller the same company?
I don't think so.
Oh, see, I thought
So
there was just
Molson is no, there's three. So Molson is Coors.
Okay.
It's that Canadian Molson. It's just that.
But I thought that's got Coors with it too. Don't they own like Corona or something?
Budweiser does.
Yeah.
Okay.
AB. Yeah.
Well, those sales aren't going to go down because Bud Light. So, but no,
Man, they like. There's an actual impact going. This is not something to actually downplay because they're actually like.
So, where are they going to be in 6 months, Jeff?
When football season kicks off.
Yeah, where are they going to be?
I have no idea.
We're going to rename it to the Coors Bowl. So,
Are we gonna have bikini-clad women like non-stop during football?
Dude, all I can tell you is like you have to be. These things do have ramifications. So, like, I mean, I can point you at like the Gillette ad from about 5 years ago. You remember this one? That little campaign they ran for a while about basically. It's about basically being better men.
Oh, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, that did them no favors. In fact, as a matter of fact, it really fucked them up. And this is the same kind of thing.
So look, fuck two things up. They stopped sending people razors when they turned 18. So, yeah, they stopped that like 10 years ago or something like that. But that used to be their marketing gimmick was you turned 18, they'd send you a razor, and so then did you ever get one?
I think I got one.
I know I got one too.
Tons, yeah.
Did you?
So
I used to get samples from them all the time. That's how when they came out with this thing called the Mach 3, it changed my life.
oh yeah. So, but that's how they would get you is because the razor doesn't cost that much money. It's the blades, of course, and so he'd send you like the actual nice razor, the metal one when you're 18.
I never got that.
I did. I think I signed up for it though.
Oh.
So, no, actually, I know what I did wrong. I voted. So, they sent it to me. So, but anyway, so they stopped doing that. And then I've seen there's a couple things out there where it showed how much lifetime value that one, like, it's like a $2 razor was.
Yeah.
It was worth thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they survey people like 20 years later. And it's like, yeah, I got this when I turned 18. I've been a Gillette man ever since, kind of thing.
Wow.
So it's like, welcome to the men's club, man. Here's your Gillette. So go buy fucking razor blades.
And this is like why like this beer thing is such a big deal is people don't change their brand easily. And when they walk out on something and they switch,
That is true.
Right?
That's true. Yeah.
That is very true.
once they make the switch, they're like, nope, it's like this forever.
It's almost impossible to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why these guys are fucking flipping.
Who's the big dog in that market, though?
In AB?
Yeah, in the beer market. Is it AB?
Well, yeah, well,
I
it's
think they were number
AB
one.
and
Were they
Bev,
number
yeah.
one?
They're number one.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's because they have two. I saw this today. This was basically the number one beer by country, right? And it was funny because, all right, so the number one beer in the United States, Bud Light. Okay,
Still?
that may change soon,
Oh, see,
but
I'm kind of surprised by that, man.
there are some people saying that that will change within 30 days, but we'll see. The number one beer in Canada is Bud.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Oh.
Over all their beers?
that's their number one is Bud.
To be fair, Moosehead does kind of suck. So, yeah.
The number one beer in the UK is Canadian. I don't remember which one it is, but it's a
Probably
Canadian
Moosehead.
beer. There was this like roundabout circle jerk of all the Anglo nations of the world where, yeah, it's like Canada's, yeah, I can't remember what it was in Australia, but it was something.
It's not
Germany.
Foster's.
No.
What's Germany?
Oh, Germany's back, so I almost guarantee you.
I think you're right. I'd have to pull up the map again because
Like if that's Bud Light, then something's wrong with this.
I've never met a
survey.
German who liked Bud Light.
No.
I've met many who like Coors. So,
Oh,
yeah.
interesting. Okay.
So, it's like,
They taste exactly the same to me.
well, they're picky. They like the Coors Banquet, the good one.
Oh.
So, yeah, the gold can. So,
Gotcha.
the silver can's a piece of shit. So,
Hey, wait, to them or
to them
Oh, okay.
and to me. So, that one's dead to me, too. So,
the silver bullet?
I hate the silver bullet.
Huh.
It tastes just like Bud Light.
I don't know.
Weird water. Like,
I can say Bud Light has a different flavor. It's almost like, I don't know, like chicken stock or something. I don't know. I don't know what it is,
you
but
can
there's
base things in it, yeah.
yeah, there's just this sort of flavor to it that's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like kind of meaty.
It's always been, it tastes a little battery, like, you know, it tastes like those little batteries you put in your watch that you're not supposed to eat. So yeah.
You know, yes, it's true. There is a hint of CR 2032.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I swallow it, it's gonna burn through my stomach, isn't it? You know. So, but no, that wasn't the article I saw. I saw that like the Navy was getting in trouble for doing these strikes.
Yeah,
That was bullshit, though.
for doing what?
It was bullshit.
what was bullshit about
The
it?
Navy never endorsed that. The guy just did it on his fucking own.
What did he endorse?
Yeah. So there's this guy out there who's like talking about, hey, I'm gonna be like, you know, Navy spokesman, and you know, I do drag and blah blah blah. No. So
Oh.
yeah, no, the Navy never
Okay.
endorsed it. So they said, who the fuck are you? So yeah. So but no,
Gotcha.
that article got me. I was like, oh god damn it. The fucking Navy. The worst place for this.
Right.
And so,
Right.
but no, it took like 2 minutes of scratching on that one to find the Navy's thing. It was like, well, while we encourage our service members to participate in civil society, you know, kind of thing. It's like them claiming to be endorsed by our
Right.
organization is going a little bit too far. So,
If by
but fucking A, man.
yeah.
So like my phone has this perfect like convolution of like Navy shit. And then like whatever is going on, you know, in the fucking
Right.
the Twitter sphere that
Right.
gets barfed out of
Right.
Substack or Telegram, and then shows up there, it bleeds into my shit. And then on top of that, it was like, oh, they tried to bomb the Kremlin today.
I
So-
saw that.
Oh, dude, that was
So-
funny.
that
So-
So
does not
fake.
see- yeah.
Oh my
They-
god.
So, but anyway, so I woke up this morning and my phone was just lit up with that Navy shit. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me, man. This just did not make my day. So then I looked at it and took it like 5 minutes. I was like, oh.
So the endorsement is basically just not discharging you.
That, I don't know.
Essentially,
They'll
yeah.
never talk about personnel issues. So, you know, you don't know. So, but that was a good phone wipe. So I was like, okay, there's too much shit. I've been reading too much of the same shit on here. It's got to go.
Fair enough.
So yeah,
I don't know, that video of the assassination attempt when he's not even there. I'm just like, dude, I'm like, oh look, it blew up on the flagpole. I'm like, no, it's not hitting it.
Right.
It's off to the side and nothing comes and shoots it.
Yeah, that was kind of.
Like,
Yeah, to declare this an assassination attempt is pretty.
someone strapped a block of C4 to a quadcopter, and you know,
and blew it up near it, and it was the Russians.
The Russians
Almost
originally, didn't they
100%.
say that they intercepted it at
Yeah.
first? Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like, dude, this is hilarious. Like,
It's some real Mickey Mouse shit. So yeah,
It
it was
is.
kind of
Yeah.
it was kind of cute. So I did hear one good take on it today, and he said this is something. This is a guy that I listen to, a military guy. So he does all this geopolitical bullshit. But anyway, he was like, "There's one group of people that everybody keeps forgetting about." So this whole thing is that Russia is actually full of fucking Islamicists, okay, that are pissed off about the whole Chechnya thing.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, and everybody keeps forgetting
yeah.
about that. And you guys might be like out there taking fucking pot shots, you know, because this is
Like the fucking sand people in.
well, kind of. Yeah. So, but the whole thing was they like that. There was that lady who was linked to that one dude who was like a super Russian nationalist who got car bombed.
Yeah.
And nobody's been able to figure that one
yeah.
out. Okay. But there's people out there who've been saying, you need to go check these guys out. Okay, because right now it's basically when they get free shots at whatever they want. Okay, because one side's gonna blame it on the other side, and the other side's gonna say it's a false flag, and so they basically get free layups all day long.
Wait, now hold on though.
Interesting.
The one thing I'll say about that though is, generally speaking, those guys within that sphere are very quick to claim
Right. Yeah, that's a good point.
responsibility
Yeah.
once something's been completed.
If it's successful. So
Well,
Yeah, you get one that just pops like in the sky. Like,
Dude, I don't.
how do you?
I feel like
How do you not even hit the building?
I feel like you can trace that one to the Toys R Us. They got it. So, you need to check receipt.
Right, yeah. Like the returned quadcopter.
Use like this when I bought it.
Now, if the next day there's like 20 of them coming in at the same time, and they're like,
That's a
we're
story.
testing
Yeah.
the wind around the building.
That's a story. I mean, I think that you possibly could do like full swarms of these things and actually probably do some damage, but you're wasting your time.
Yeah. But I don't know. It just looked hilarious.
It was. And nobody took us. Now the fucking missile strikes.
What missile strikes?
I know they mobilized a lot of, fucking aircraft the other day.
Who?
The Russians.
Oh,
Yeah.
for what? In Ukraine or?
Well, that was the thing. Was they had shots, they had lots of things, they had bombers and everything all up and ready to go. But
Nothing.
yeah,
Oh, I don't know.
I haven't paid attention at all.
They do sorties against Alaska, and they do them against Japan every fucking day. So just to test the defenses. So just like China and Taiwan, they fly every fucking day. So it's a way to actually fuck with your enemy by putting hours on their aircraft. So that's what they do. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
fair enough.
So
I
who
mean,
knows, man?
I guess that the other thing is if you do that, then you get some experience.
I guess, yeah. So I don't know, man. I've actually been going down the military rabbit hole on that whole Ukraine thing for the last few days. So
What did you unearth?
they're actually really good at shooting down drones. So
Yeah.
they've gotten really, really good at it. So even the little ones. So yeah, they have all these like Cold War quad fucking AA guns that just
Yeah,
blast
did
them.
you?
So,
Yeah.
and then the same thing's true is like they're just get a heavy caliber, like a 50 cal machine gun, or the Russian version of that 7.62. Just put a scope on it. They can blast. I mean, you just have to wing it. When
Right.
it comes down. Yeah. So they got really good at that.
I remember seeing this project. They kept pitching for a long time. Did you ever see this? It was called the Metal Storm.
The Metal Storm.
Yeah.
Is that a movie? Or...
Well, is
No,
it when you actually drop kinetic warheads from space?
No, that's a different thing here, but it's more along the lines of what you were talking about here. Was so the whole thing is you take about 64 to 128 barrels on one side, then put another on the other side.
Barrels of what?
Gun barrels.
Oh, okay.
Right? And what you do is in these barrels, right, this is all going to be like caseless ammo.
Oh, yeah, where they just stack them on top of each other?
Yes.
Yeah, and they fire them electronically?
They fire them electronically, so basically whenever you fire, okay,
Yeah.
and these things can go fully auto, but
Yeah, sure.
whenever you fire, basically like 256 bullets go out in unison at one point, you go at one target, right? Basically like shred an aircraft or something like that. But like they've been pushing it for a long time, it never took off, right? But if there's something like that was passed on, then I know that there's something that was accepted that's better.
They're doing mostly laser weapons now.
Yeah.
So directed energy stuff. Especially on like this, like all my Navy shit. They talk about this stuff all the time. Where it's like, well, the problem with Aegis destroyers and stuff like that is they only carry so many missiles. Okay, but they've got these other ones. Is like all the Navy ships are ridiculously overpowered for what they need to do. Meaning they generate way more electricity than they need. And so we're like, well, let's get a weapon that you never have to reload then. So they've been trying to get that to work. So, but yeah, no, there was some interesting stuff on Ukraine out there, but I don't know.
Is it gonna come to an end this year, you think?
So like the conventional wisdom amongst the guys that I listen to is no. So, it's basically right now it's World War One. So, this whole area is basically entrenched. So it takes days to make 100 yards.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
And thousands of people have died. So over a garbage dump.
And
and a gas station and a fucking, drywall factory.
So yeah, I reached out to I have actually a lot of most of my students are either Russian or Ukrainian. This actually
do they meet? Do they talk well together?
I don't introduce
Right, okay, all right.
But that being said, a lot of them lived in both places,
Oh yeah, sure.
right? And so, I asked him, I was like, have you heard any news? It's like, nothing new.
Yeah.
Right? And the other perspective they have on this is, they're just explaining it where at this point the fight is basically it's not even nationalism, it is just basically the land that I live on.
Right.
Right. That's what this whole fight has come to. It's like, so this is why Ukraine won't quit. It's like that just
They're not going to quit.
it's like this is not their first, trip to this. This happens. We've been neighbors with these assholes for so long, and then they go on to describe the socioeconomics of Russia, which is it's catastrophic. It's like it was unsustainable before this.
Yeah, it's ruined. So the country's ruined for a generation, man. So yeah, it's just.
Well, this is what they were saying was it was ruined post-war.
What do you mean post-war?
They said that the
World War II?
Yes, they said that the after effects of World War II, right, created such a demographic problem.
Sure.
Right. That they're still not dealing with that correctly, and it's just getting worse, right? Because again, like the Brazilians, when they so when I was watching like 90 Day Fiance, right? Which is shut up. No, it's this was my
your guilty pleasure.
This was my garbage television that I was like way into. But this is something that actually rings sort of true with what I've been hearing about these people was like when these fucking no-necked weirdos would from the States would end up, bringing over like Russian, Ukrainian, from all those block areas, right? You're like, man, she is like way. You have to be nervous about this. We have to think that this is doomed, right? Because of the problems. And what they were saying was like, well, in Russia, no. It's like you Americans are also handsome compared to like even the big fat ones.
Like this is a scam.
Well, you're all gonna live way longer too. So
yeah, and that was the thing. It's like, well, Russians are so like the ratio of like women is so much higher than men that the men don't even care. Right? That's the thing.
Because all the men died.
Well, they die a lot earlier. If you actually take a look at so the population pyramids and stuff like that, where they do men on one side and women on the other, you've seen those, right? So there's this thing that happens to Russia with men after like age 50. So where there's a lot of widows, and stuff like that, and then very few old like Putin's kind of rare because he's in his 70s, so that's not very common. Yeah, and so it's just I don't know. I've not had too many students from Russia per se, but I've had like Hungarian and Romanian ones who express the same thing. So they're like, Russia's just fucked. So
yeah,
in terms of that. So
and doing what they're doing right now is not helping matters whatsoever.
No.
Yeah.
No, and their entire tech sector fucking migrated to Armenia, and Azerbaijan and Georgia. So
Poland.
In Poland?
Yes.
Yeah, well, it's a little harder to get into Poland, but yeah.
Well, okay, so there is there's some of that, but yeah, a lot of that the Ukrainian side is in Poland.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, basically anybody who's left in Ukraine right now is gonna fight.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, if you didn't want to fight, you left a long time ago because the EU was like, "Hey, come on in." So yeah, and so they're all over the place now.
Polish students, that's what they're kind of laughing about. Well, and they're nice about it, but they're also like, there's a lot of like kind of like Trump rhetoric, but not
In
being
Poland?
Trump. No. It would basically be like Polish Trumpism,
Oh.
where so when they talk about immigrants,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
There's this thing where they're not open with it, but when they talk about the hassle on their daily lives, there's a little bit of like, you're not telling me the whole truth. It's like when they say like,
You mean immigrants from Ukraine?
yeah,
That's a lot of people to bring in.
but they try to be polite about it, but they
Right.
still say like, it bothers me that nobody speaks my language at the gym.
Oh.
The pool is always filled, you know, or
A
whatever.
lot.
Yeah,
They took in a lot of people, so
and a lot of they don't speak our language.
Do they
and I
pay
don't
them?
Like it, I can't tell you.
Yeah, okay. I was just curious. I didn't know if they were on like some kind of welfare or something.
probably some of that money that's been sent out everywhere has probably gone to.
I have no
Well,
idea.
Poland was the country that famously said no to the Syrian refugees and everybody from the
Right.
Middle East. Caught a whole ton of shit for that. They're like, no, we're not doing it. And so they kept, stabbings down for a while, but they got a lot of shit for it. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Just checking in on people from that side of the world. There's just this sense of when I talk to them, it's like it's just what they do.
There was one. I don't know if it was on Fox or whatever thing, but it was pretty
Fox, huh?
But
What an interesting
They said
place
that-
nowadays.
I haven't seen it since.
No one has, evidently.
But they were just like, the people from the Middle East are all going through Europe and trying to like breed out, because they're like, they go out and they just have kids with and I don't know how they were tracking it or whatever, and I'm just like, oh
Breed
really?
out?
Yeah, they were just trying to
That's like
get
what the
kids everywhere.
fucking like xenomorphs do from Alien.
Yeah.
It was
The
the
fucking replacement theory.
the
bullshit.
Braveheart
Yeah.
one.
The
Yeah,
Braveheart
right, yeah,
one.
exactly. So prima nocta. Yeah.
Oh,
Trouble with Scotland is it's full of Scots.
Yeah. Well, that's the theory they were going with, and I was like, ooh, okay.
Yeah, I don't hear too. I get a lot of folks that I work with from Europe. I don't hear the complaints that I did 3 years ago. So they're not the same. So, when all that shit was going down, and there were like fucking rafts of people coming over from Libya and stuff. I mean, I had Italian students, I had German students, French students. They don't complain about that anymore. So, so they take out the trash. So, they don't riot. So, I mean,
Paris has been under siege for weeks.
yeah, what's going on with that?
I don't know. Nobody covers it.
I thought it had something to do with raising the retirement age by 2 fucking whopping years or something.
Yeah, it was
So-
something like that.
But
But
they only have like 20-hour work weeks too.
I think France is right around 30, or
30?
it's like 30 or
I
32.
think it's 28.
It might be lower now. So yeah, but
But it's right in that realm. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, so France, out of everything that you can look at the EU, France is probably doing the best out of all of them. And so it's one of those things where it's like, okay, well, how are you affording that somehow? You don't have a central currency, so you're not manipulating it.
Right.
So what the
Right.
fuck is going on? Obviously, you're doing something right. And people are rioting about 2 hours, or 2 extra work years. So who the fuck knows, man? So did not bleed onto my phone feed. So I had to go looking for that one.
Yeah, that was the thing. Maybe they are reporting it, but I usually take news as I get it.
Yeah.
And so, in many ways, if it doesn't find its way to me, I write it off as not being a big issue.
Yeah.
But that's woefully ignorant.
Yeah. It's not wrong though. I guess everybody gets to choose where the news comes from. Like that thing with the Kremlin dome today, it was hilarious. So I looked at it on my computer at work, which is a clean computer, not infected by my own Jew.
Right.
And so I just clicked on show me the no more news, and you could see on there, okay, so you had like MSNBC, and it looked like it was a little tiny fart. Okay, and the next to it, so you have like Reuters, and that's the actual picture. And then underneath it, you have fucking Fox News, and they picked the one frame where the flash X, so the whole thing looks red. So like it looks like someone dropped a fucking A-bomb on it. So and I was like, you guys, come on, man. And so, but it was just one of those things where it was like, obviously it was bigger than that little fart. Obviously it wasn't, little boy and Batman over here. So come on, man.
You're not making nuclear shot. It was the same thing when they used that heavily contrasted picture of January 6th to make it look like the Capitol's on fire, and it never was.
It never was. No. There was no fires.
Oh.
No. One guy got shot. Lady. So yeah, one lady got shot. There's no pictures of that. So
yeah, I got to work from home today, and so I had the news on just in the background while I was doing stuff, and it was literally breaking news.
Dun dun dun.
There was an assassination attempt on Putin, and I was like, really?
Oh.
He wasn't even there, and here it is. And it's like,
wait, what?
That's not. What? That's not an assassination attempt. That's like trying to ruin the paint job. Like,
no, you just thought it's like vandalism.
Yeah.
You might as well turn on TikTok.
Right.
What?
Something stupid. It's fucking whatever. Right there.
You didn't even scramble jets. There wasn't like. There was nothing. Right. Like, it's just one drone. And I don't know where they got the camera from. That it's just like.
Well, that was like my first question, and I couldn't find an answer to it. So, I mean, I only looked at it for maybe about like 15 minutes today. But I was like, okay, my first question is like, not, who did that? Who's responsible? What the fuck happened? It's like, was that camera actually there a week ago?
Right. It was perfect.
And I was like, was this one of those stationary cameras that you have like at the bus stop? That's been there for years.
Then
and
it
all
would
of
have
a sudden
been
it gets a million
terrible
hits.
image.
Well, maybe.
Like that was like high def.
You're right. It was very nice. It was definitely not one of the I-25 traffic.
No.
I listened to a police guy talking about that on one of the shows I was doing about how easy and how difficult it can be to actually get footage of a crime. And he's like, well, there's two things on this. He's like, well, it just comes down to two things. It's like there are good cameras and there are bad cameras. Right. Like,
but CSI tells you zoom in and enhance.
Oh, that shows.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, no. And
it's like, oh my God,
and
no.
They fucking blade run that shit and extrapolate it.
Burn it, yeah.
Get the Esper machine and get it to flip around. Give me a hard copy right there. It's like, guys, this is
the Esper machine.
And
why did it have that bellows on it, man? I never.
Oh, you're talking about the Void Comp.
The Void Comp.
Yeah,
thank you. Yeah.
No, the Esper machine was the actual.
Chunka. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's ruined everybody's perception on what people can do with stuff.
I think people are sort of wise to it now. Where
that's not true.
No, people expect it.
Yeah. So because there's just enough of it that's true. So like I'll tell you, when my brother got his wallet stolen out of his car, okay, he got a call first from the bank. I think this was a couple of years ago. First from the bank. And then from the police, okay, and the police, okay, so you want to fill out a report and stuff, blah, 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 things like that. He's like, come on in. And while he was actually there, someone hit the credit card at Walmart. And the cops were like, oh, this is great. They have the best fucking cameras. And sure as shit.
Well, yeah. I don't know if you go into Walmart much, but yeah, the camera sit right there. Like, every time you do the self-checkout, it literally... Like it is literally staring at you.
Yeah.
Well, and this is the weird thing is like if you have these cameras that actually won't pick up shit at all, why the fuck do you have them in the first place?
Some of them have them that don't even record because it's just the idea that.
Well, yeah, but you
think
could
you're
just put up the pod then. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the thing. They sell the pods. But yeah, the detective said that when those show up, it said it is because the person literally asked for the cheapest option they can get.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Just
and
enough to
so-
lower my insurance premium.
Yes, and the security company comes with the cheapest
The
option
cheapest one
you can get.
So the one that's streaming directly to China.
Because yeah, there's some like this is pointless. Like you can barely this. What it reminds me of is like back in the '80s when I used to watch this show called That's Incredible.
Oh yeah.
I think it was on Sundays, but I can't remember. Every now and then they do this thing where they like it was like the precursor to like ghost hunter shows. And they just
yeah.
run this like footage in like dark places,
Yeah.
and you'd see things like wander around. They're like,
and they have to circle, like they draw the
Right,
outline of it
yeah,
and be like,
yeah.
hey, do you see it now?
Clear as mud, man.
and these things are as clear as like you're watching somebody get stabbed 51 times. It might as well be one of these like ghost videos.
Right, it's the Sasquatch.
It's like, and you're gonna tell me this is Mr. Alexander that lives on Carbon Lane and whatever and stuff like this. And like,
right.
no, like then it looks like he throws something over the fence. I'm like,
Dead body.
but then he comes back for it.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, that's what he said. People ask for the cheapest option. That's what they get.
That
There's-
makes sense.
They say they get better footage off of like ATMs and yeah.
Yeah, I believe that.
Now, this is not Great Britain, so it is not a fucking police state.
It's not
There's
China.
An Orwellian fucking nightmare, yeah. I guess those two guys are neck and neck on.
Yeah, the cameras per people.
Yeah.
Not the other way around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is we love monitoring people, man. This is great. But yeah, you have to go through all this like private shit.
Which is weird because they have also like way stricter like privacy laws for like your information and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, they actually mean business.
Yeah,
Yeah.
EU. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll record everything.
Oh, yeah.
we do. So we really care about your privacy for some, but not this.
Well, the funny thing is too, like with Twitter, in Germany, they have like strict laws about you have to inform people if this is done. So
Yes, you do.
you get the receipt if somebody reports you for something, right? Where it is turned over to the German government to see if you violated their laws. And you get this little receipt that says somebody reported the most innocuous thing that you said. And they'll quote the post and it says the German government has determined this is not a violation. Like, if you did, fuck
Imagine
you.
if that's your job. Like,
What are you
just
gonna do? Go to
read-
Germany and turn yourself in?
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I give up.
Right.
I feel
Hands
really
up, don't
guilty.
shoot. Yeah. No, Mr. Jeffrey, he should shoot.
For what?
Twitter terms violations.
That was. I mean, if you're gonna report me for something, you got way better stuff. They got me on.
Copyright infringement.
Oh no, I wouldn't dare.
Oh,
No, I don't fuck with that shit.
that's
you
serious.
No,
Yeah.
no, I wouldn't dare.
You mean you haven't hit record on one of those shows that you
What are you saying?
I was just curious,
I could drop spoilers on the next season of, I don't know, whatever it is you're working on.
Yeah, I got the thing I did last time may have been the most boring project. It was 95 minutes fucking long. It was the Mecum Auction.
Oh,
Ooh.
wow. In
It's-
England?
No, this is the one they do in it's either in Indianapolis or Florida.
They do it all over the place, man.
Yeah.
were they cool cars at least, or were they like a 95 Dodge Caravan?
They have everything at those, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, yeah, they had a '99 Dodge Durango. They had a
So this wasn't 95 minutes of just seeing like cool cars for auction.
They had like your old car. They had like a what was it, like a '96 Camaro?
Oh, the space rocket thing.
Yeah,
yeah, but they refurb them all. So,
dude, these cars were only going. These cars. This was so an auto auction would be fun. Like the car that went for the most was like 80,000.
oh, that's not a very good
not
auction.
crazy.
Yeah.
Most were going for like 10 to 12.
There's
Oh,
a
that's dumb, man.
show on
Yeah,
this?
they do it all over the country, and so they've even come like here. They go to Denver all the time, but they do have like a couple times a year they have a big fucking show where it's like you got to get vetted because they don't want some asshole bidding on this, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So and that's where you go in there and all the reserve prices are like $150,000.
Okay, I
So-
can see a show on that because you're seeing
That-
pretty unique
yes.
cars.
They do
Exactly.
that every now and then. And so, but then they televise every one of the shows. And so,
Oh.
yeah, this is on like ESPN 9 or whatever. So, you know, I
No,
mean,
well, this one belonged to Discovery. I can tell you that.
okay, yeah, so
Discovery
Discovery's
for
fine.
Motor Trend.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, we used to have a couple of those guys who were really into that shit over at the bar, and they used to turn that on every fucking day. And it'd be somewhere.
Oh
So,
my
you know,
gosh. I did not know that.
they happen like weekly. So,
Yeah, and
yeah.
this and seriously, like this one because it was 95 minutes. That would have been a 2-hour block. That
It
would
was
have been that would have been a 2-hour block for
Yeah.
for
But
a
is it
program.
nice and easy because it's just one dude kind of
No.
talking? No.
No, you have like 5 dudes talking
Yeah.
that you never see, right? You're listening to them over a fucking motor mouth, right?
Yeah.
And you're trying to discern these
Yeah,
very
that's right.
and
Yeah,
you're
that's
trying to
right,
discern
man.
what these soft-spoken guys are saying over this fucking this guy that's over there selling cars in tongues, right?
Well, and then they have the guys who are walking around the car kicking the tires. You can hear them too.
you can't. You have to watch those guys. And the other thing is that the bidders, you got to remember, the thing is that the bidders, a lot of what they have goons that
Yeah.
work with the people and they're basically try to like egg you on, right? So like if it's at like 25.5, right? The dude's like, dude, you want this? You gotta go 26. You going 26,
Yeah, they do.
26,
Yeah.
26, and he'll do the shouting for you, right? Where I think they must get like a cut of that for
Oh, I don't know.
I
I
imagine.
used to have a student who used to do that though. So she did.
Auctioneering.
She did. Yeah, she would buy cars from impound and stuff,
Oh,
and then
oh,
she and her brothers would fix them up, and then she'd go to auction, and then she got good enough to the point in time where people brought her cars to auction off, and so
oh! I thought she was the auctioneer.
she is now.
She's the one.
So,
That,
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, she's great at it. So
Wow.
this was a couple of years ago, but so
But-
yeah, she told me if I ever need to sell a car, it's,
But these guys, I mean, this was the thing. There were some cars that I was like, that looks awesome, right?
yeah, sure.
And you're saying this is going for like $15,000. This
Yeah.
is shit. Like, there's just no great market for it the way people would think. Like, you ever?
Especially nowadays.
Well,
15,000 is
People's idea of a used car is like totally different than it was before. You know, where you get a used bang, just a beater.
Yeah.
You know, kind of thing. Now it's like used. Oh, this is a 1.5 year old Tesla X. Or whatever. It's like that's a used car, and it's like, why does it cost just as much as new one? Because it's only 2 fucking years old, bro.
Right.
So
Right.
so-
Yeah, because they had a string there where they did about like 3 Corvettes in a row,
Mhm.
right, going from like 68 to 72, right? And these things were not going for. We're talking about 18,000,
Yeah,
right?
you can
And
get a
these are
pretty
in good shape.
you can get a pretty rockin' classic car that someone's flipped. So
Yeah.
for like less than 30 grand, no problem.
Way
So-
less.
Well, it depends on what you're going for, but yeah. So, like there's some like I just told my wife, it was like, well, someday, when you become super rich lawyer lady,
She wants that Firebird. I
we
think,
can go
or
get a
Trans Am.
Firebird or Trans Am or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, we're gonna go into the Mecum auctions because we see them all the time.
Yeah,
And they're only like 20, 25 grand. And so
I'm telling you, the only one that went for like close to 30 was the fucking 68, and that
There you
was they said because that was like by the early 70s they started ramping down the power,
right.
but like the late 60s ones like, well, this will hold balls.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
So,
their exotic modern car was like a Prowler.
Wow.
I knew a guy who had one of those.
You rented one.
Did
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
Prowler?
No,
Oh.
it was PT Cruiser.
Oh, that's different. That's totally
okay.
different.
That's way
Yeah.
different. No, I had a PT Cruiser.
No, I rented it. I had a rental PT Cruiser down in Houston.
I liked it.
I kind of
It
liked it
was
too,
so
man.
comfy.
It did. It looked kind of like a shoe, but
But it handled great. It was so comfortable. Like I was like, I wouldn't mind this.
Yeah, I remember, that's right. Yeah, you had that. You liked it, and yeah, they also they had like now this was, I think this was a 2010 show, or no, 2012. So yeah, it's archived.
it's that old.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, no wonder the cars were going that cheap.
Yeah, I was like, right
Yeah,
now,
okay,
used
yeah.
cars are
Yeah, it was archival, and like the thing that they said, and they're absolutely right about this, was this goes on now. It's like they had a car on there that was like 2 years old, right? It was like a so it was like a Challenger or something, and they said, look, so the problem with this is, even the guys are like, they're not gonna get much on this. He said, because on these kind of things, it's not like it was when the old days were like, so you go in there and say like, well, let's gussy up this. I was like, actually, it's already done, right? They come out that way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
and you can go to any dealership and get a 2-year-old one.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
But I gotta tell you, I'm sick of this automotive shit, man. It's just like so tired of it. It's just the same thing. It's like we just bought this Jeep and we're gonna gussy it up so it can go crawl on rocks. I'm like, you do that. Fucking, whatever. It's like how many variations of this fucking show do you guys have?
Do you ever do movies?
I did a movie once.
One movie the whole time?
Yes. Well, I've gotten a few by accident. Most of the movies that need to be translated are like French. I'm like, I don't speak this language.
I can take guesses as to what you're saying.
You're gonna just spell check this.
I would love to send in a fucking transcript that was nothing but like baguette, fromage.
Ooh la la.
I don't have the guts. Oud de trois. Yeah, I know. I would. But no, I've done movies.
Oh, that'd be fun.
I know. Yeah, but that's but I've also done like British movies.
Oh dear.
Yeah. And they're like British Christmas movies and stuff like
Oh
that.
my god.
Are they like Hallmark kind of things?
Yes.
Oh,
gross.
wow.
Yes, I did one where they. You think it's not like that, but it is.
It is like that, yeah. So it's very much like that.
Yeah.
Well, I will be seeing the next Marvel installation this week.
I figured you would.
What is it?
Guardians
Oh,
Three?
okay.
3, 4.
Guardians 3.
That's right. Yeah.
So, yep, I'm excited. 3D, all this stuff again, bells and whistles. We'll see.
Enjoy. I don't know.
It's gonna be the last Marvel movie actually written by a human.
They're on strike.
That is a terrible idea.
What, the
Did
writers'
they
strike?
actually go
Yeah.
on strike? I heard
yeah.
them
Is
threatening
this,
it.
is this like all the movie writers or this TV?
It's both.
Oh,
It's the
God,
it's
it's
the
gonna
WGA. It's the Writers Guild.
It's gonna be a fucking bloodbath, man. So
Well, this is this is my favorite part of it. Is normally I have some sympathy for this, but I'm like, you guys suck.
yeah,
That's the thing. It's like, what? How dare you demand anything at this point? It's like everything
Everything is a stolen idea. of something.
I know.
Fucking trash.
As soon as I saw that, I was like, "Oh, that's a terrible idea, man! You're just tempting people to fire you with ChatGPT."
Yes.
So, and quite honestly, that thing's gonna run circles around all of you put together. So
Don't encourage them to actually rely on the technology, man. That's the thing is, you guys don't force their hand when it comes to like, well,
Oh, you
try
mean
it
that?
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mean the guild? Yeah, exactly. It was like this is a really, really stupid idea. It's like walking yourself to the fucking firing line. So
Yeah.
You're supposed to go kicking and screaming. So
And the some of those vocal people on the fucking, WGA that we're talking about this, I looked up the shit they wrote. I'm like, this is abysmal. Like,
really?
oh yeah, yeah.
Oh.
The shit that these guys yeah, and I'm like, how dare you? I'm like,
Ain't got time for this.
I'm not trying to pick on you guys, but you're talking about the people who just like. Of course, they're going to be the most vocal because these are the people who have been using their shows and their platforms.
They're so bad
For just the most inane, self-insert, fucking garbage.
I know, man. So yeah, I saw that. I think that was today.
Yeah,
And I was like,
it was last night, and then
okay, yeah, no,
today,
I saw it on the news today, and I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. You guys are dumb. So.
And just don't encourage those guys. It's just it's that McDonald's thing. It's like, what are you gonna do? Fire us? And then
Oh, with the onions?
no. And then
I heard you talk about that, so I knew that was happening.
I didn't know that was happening.
That's their. So I dated a girl that ran 3
right.
McDonald's.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And this is their best burger. So
Best burger.
this is their new marketing thing is that this is how you make the best burger. So it's not the exact same as everything that they put out. So it's their new iteration of it.
See, I think people were pissed about it because you can't get the old one. So
I
can't?
didn't
don't
know
know.
it was getting rid of the old one.
So-
I thought it was a new.
yeah, so like the takeout, which is shows up on my news app from time to time. They flipped over the last week. Last week it was like, oh my god, this is a fucking war crime, And today they were like, there was a guy who was actually like, they're actually pretty good.
Yeah, I guess they
So, yeah.
they butter the buns and do
Yeah,
all
yeah,
this
yeah.
kind of stuff.
like
and,
you do with a burger.
Yeah. Yeah, they actually tried to make it better. And I guess when you're used to having cardboard slapped on cardboard,
Right.
like don't mess with my cardboard.
Right. Well, that's kind of what I was thinking, but that's where I guess the conventional wisdom was last week, and then I noticed today and yesterday it kind of changed. So, unlike the Kotaku, which is consistently pointing out all of our various war crimes on a daily basis.
that's all they know how to do.
I know, man. So they
And
were,
those guys, well,
they
hey,
were doing it again today. I was like, God bless. I love you guys, but man, I just come here to laugh now.
who did they target today? What was
They were
what
going
was-
after Xbox for something. I can't. It was something about Game Pass. Letting some of these games on there that were like fucking, crimes against humanity.
Hateful content.
Yeah, hateful content.
Oh.
It was just like, oh, so you could ship your Xbox to me. Mine's busted. So
yourself.
hey, I
Yeah,
did
well-
join the master race, but I'll sing it to sleep every night.
What do you do? Hey, man, the writing's on the wall. Fucking, BuzzFeed, they're done.
They are done, and they went out with a bang, man. So
Vox.
Vox is done.
Just kick the bucket, man. These
did notice
publications, so I won't be
Vox won a Pulitzer Prize too, didn't it?
I don't remember.
There was a big story they broke, so I can't remember what it was, but yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, I won't be happy until the Huffington Post is gone, but that's sort of
That one's not even run by that lady anymore.
no. Ariana
So-
Huffington, she was
she got Epstein, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So did Noam Chomsky. I saw that this week. He said, "Mind your own fucking business." So I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna stop listening to you, buddy." So there's a Wall Street Journal dropped that dude's calendar yesterday. So
Yeah. There were a lot of
There were a lot of fucking names on there. Yeah. So
there.
that's
Still
an
haven't
answer
heard
to
of
do.
it, yeah.
So
The information's in there. They just haven't released it.
yeah. So
I
this will
don't
help.
know why.
I don't know why either. So
Somebody's got money.
Clearly, no.
why?
Man, the people that are going to take it down if they actually release that client list.
Yeah. But I mean, if it's there, I mean that's like a really big feather in your hat. If you're one of these FBI guys who actually wants to make a name for himself, or if you're like a journalist out there who can get your hands on that and you want to make a splash, man, that thing's got a big fucking bounty.
I totally understand.
So
but
I
it's just
can't
not-
see it staying secret forever. So
I just can't. Yeah, I can't fathom why, in the interest of justice, it wouldn't have been released in the first place.
Well, I don't know that. So, but I mean, just based on how like courts work and stuff, there's probably fucking multiple things been filed against it. So don't,
Some
Gonna
of these
sort it
names
all
on
out.
there that paid a lot of money that said.
But
keep
who
this
would you
out.
pay in order to keep that? Who's the guy you write the check to keep that under wraps? If you do it to a judge, it just goes to a different judge. If you do it to the FBI director, he gets tossed every 4 years.
You know,
what
the
about
point
the
is-
whole Biden stuff? Like,
Yeah.
they got to keep it quiet for 2 years.
Yeah, but I mean,
fucking lie about it. They
how
got,
much of a check you
they
gotta
got
write?
50 people to sign
Yeah.
off on bullshit.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Well documented bullshit. Like,
nothing's out of reach depending on the name that's on there.
just because we don't know who you're supposed to write the
Yeah.
check to doesn't mean they didn't get the check.
Yeah, I know, but I just want harder evidence of that. So
I
my
want
guess,
any evidence. Yeah.
huh?
I want any evidence.
Yeah,
of
fuck
what yeah.
So yeah, no, absolutely.
No, what you're asking here is like, okay, we all want the like. So, this is Nancy Pelosi. She wrote a check to the hitman she hired on Craigslist. Right?
I would love that. Please show me that check.
The remitter actually says for death.
She's
Death
old enough.
service
That,
is rendered.
Yeah.
she's old enough. She actually would still write a check.
She
and
put a
have-
memo on it. Yeah.
and have-
We all want that. It's just- I presume these guys went and got a money order.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's just not. It's
It's not something you're gonna find. That would be hilarious.
I bet you're gonna find it someday. So, I think the Epstein thing is too juicy. So,
I guarantee you, Bill Gates is going to be on that list.
everybody basically agrees on that at this
Yeah.
point in time. To the point in time where he won't even answer questions. He just turns around and walks the other way. So does Bill Clinton now. So, which is kind of like, see, this is like we talked about this a while ago. It's kind of like why I don't like the Fifth Amendment all the time. Because I would like to put that asshole on the stand and say, hey, buddy, what the fuck do you know? So, and at least just watch him squirm for a little bit,
Yeah,
He can sit there and say, I exercise my rights. But it's not like, no, that doesn't mean you get to sit there and just say that over and over again. You sit there until you convince us. So,
Yeah, but we're getting like really close to like bad court stuff.
that's way too bad. I get it.
Yeah, where you sit him in the chair and it's like you gonna answer the question. It's like no, and then like you see a dude like over there like heating up metal. And it's like you gonna answer the question. It's like no.
I
And
just
then-
want the box, that they stuff you in. It's got the little beeper on it, and it tells you whether or not you're lying.
Yeah.
That's all I want. So,
Yeah, I know. That's
A live polygraph. That would be fun.
Actually, I found this out. The polygraph's actually really fucking easy to beat.
Really easy?
Yeah, so you have to calibrate it every time you sit down. Okay, and they do this thing and they say, okay, answer these
Your
questions.
baseline. Yeah.
You lie on all of them. So, fucking defeated.
Wait, but when they ask your name,
Huh?
when they ask
Lie.
well, they're gonna know you're lying.
Yeah, I know, but they don't know exactly when you're telling the truth. So that's how you have to calibrate it.
Well, that's how they calibrate is by asking the questions that they know are true.
Correct, but they need a positive and a negative sample set. So if you lie about everything, they don't get the positive sample set out of it. It was like, wow, that was pretty easy.
the things aren't admittable.
Yeah, it's not admittable in
for a
court
reason,
either.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it was great. So I was watching this podcast with these CIA guys on it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I got to take a polygraph." And they're like, "That shit's easy." So, so.
I taken one, man. So, yeah,
Have you?
Yeah.
When'd you have to take one?
What do you mean? Of course.
When I interviewed for the police department.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I took one.
Was it nervous?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. It's claustrophobic.
Did you lie?
Well, sort of. But I copped it.
Oh, okay.
Well, I copped it. I was like, well, okay, well, that's... What I'm saying is this. What I really want to say is this. It was kind of like, the version I tell people is this. What actually happened was this.
Oh,
The story, the way I've been telling it for so long, that is now the truth.
Well, yeah.
it might well be true.
Right?
It's poetically true. It's part of my backstory.
It's ingrained in my head as this is what happened. So, far as I know, it's now the truth.
Well, and yeah, there are some questions that were absurd. It was things like, things that it was so broad. It was like, have you ever done something that you wouldn't want somebody to know about? I'm like,
Yeah.
well, no, yet. Well, I don't want you to know about it. So it was like, well, of course. It was like, that's where you start getting in your own head. That's where you start getting like nervous. You're like, well, yeah, doesn't everybody?
Yeah.
But it was like, what do you want me to tell you?
Well, the answer is yes. Now, what's your follow-up? Do I have to explain every single one?
Yeah.
I'd be fascinated.
I'd be curious.
Yeah, I'd be curious.
It's really uncomfortable.
Yeah,
it really is. Yeah.
Is it worse than when they did it to Murr on Impractical Jokers?
I wasn't there. I don't know what he was going through. They didn't ask me questions like that.
Oh, okay.
Look, they don't know stuff about my past.
Oh, that's true.
Right.
Yeah,
That's that's where they basically try to tweeze things out of you and then ask you, direct things about that. I'm like, I don't. It's like there are things. It's like, have you ever committed a crime that you never told anybody about? That's when you start getting in your own head. It's like, what do you define as a crime? It's like
beating a crime.
That's when I'm like, I've burned a red light because I was sitting there for 15 minutes at 1 o'clock in the morning, and I can tell you where it was. It was at that light at Woodman and Rock Ribbon, and that thing would never turn. So eventually, you're like,
fuck it.
No lights, away I go.
Yeah, and so I'm like, what do you mean as, like, do I consider it? And I don't know if your brain is going haywire at that point, basically like,
did I kill somebody and not tell you, or did I jaywalk?
I feel like those things are like best prepared for like people that like blurt shit out. I don't want to say blurt shit out, but just don't think about things as hard as you would. It's like, did you kill this guy? I'm like, no. Yeah. Did you say that again? Like, kind of.
See, there's like, I went down this thing a while ago. It was this YouTube channel that I found where they actually do like actual interrogations, and then they talk. It's actually, it was for a it had to do with a class,
like criminal justice,
kind of, but it was more like a negotiation thing, and then this was just a tangent off that I got hooked on. So they were actually talking about how like there's these really effective interrogation techniques, So if, I think you've committed a murder and things like that, I'm going to come in and I'm either going to be a good cop, a bad cop, whatever. So, but, I'll ask you your story, and then I'll be writing it down at that point in time. And then I'll leave you for half an hour or so. Hey man, I got to go make phone calls and stuff. We got other guys to talk to. I'm going to go talk to this guy over you, even if there's nobody over there, kind of thing. And just kind of get in your head. And they'll come back and just like, okay, so I got you here at this point in time. Can you run that by me again? Because I think I jacked it up. And then they'll see, well, wait a minute, where were you before that? Before that, and they'll just kind of go back and forth over the entire thing.
And see if you can
keep your story straight. And it's not just if you can keep your story straight. They're also trying to like poke things out of you. And one of the best pieces of the thing that I got out of this was that there's like two things that they watch out for. One of them is this thing called duping delight, where, you nail your story. Okay, it's going to be hard for you not to smile. So, if you get it right, so, or you start to
say something,
you're going to be like, patting yourself on the back,
that's fair,
kind of thing. And they showed all these examples of people who had done it in fucking interrogation. These people are bona fidely guilty. And of course, they got Bill Clinton on there too, who cannot help but do that a little bit after that fucking press conference. So,
right.
But then the other thing was they would, kind of poke you on, sir. Well, why the fuck did you kill her? Kind of thing. After you got your story all right, and there's this like kind of tell-all thing where if that person's like, I didn't fucking kill I'm gonna kick your ass, kind of thing. It's like, okay, all right. So, but it's like, no, I didn't kill my wife. It's kind of like, all right, let's go over your story again. So, and it's just reiterations over and over and over again, because eventually you'll fuck it up and you'll start filling in details to try and patch it together. But then when you get to the third iteration, you can't remember those fucking details, but somebody wrote them down, Okay, you know, and so I said, well, you said about this was there. That's not, or were you sure it was there? So I thought you said it was on the other counter. You'd be like, oh yeah, maybe it was on the other counter. So you know, if it's like you're actually telling it, you wouldn't even know that. You're like, I don't know where my fucking watch was. You know?
Is this the same like line of thinking where you throw it out there and say like, what do you think should happen to the person
Yeah, that's a good trap
yeah.
because most of the time, if you're like innocent and something like that, or if it's like you know that guy who scraped by my car, you know, if we actually caught him, what should happen? We should kick his ass. You know, it's always like you're more like fucking.
Yeah.
You want a bigger hammer of justice. So, but if you're the guy who did it, you're kind of like, oh, it was just an accident, man. I'm not worried about it. You know?
Well, yeah, where it's like, I think the person that did it probably feels pretty guilty about it.
Yeah, I think they'll be okay. You know, they learned their lesson.
I don't think they'll ever do it again.
I don't. I think those are words you never say when you get interrogated by the police. So
Yeah, but the correct response is like, no, fuck that guy.
yeah, fuck that guy.
If
Burn
I
his
see him-
house to the ground.
Yeah, I'm gonna burn his house to the ground, and I'm gonna peel his fucking fingernails off one by one.
Yeah. So yeah, no, it's interesting. I mean, and they had all these like, and they were like hours long. These interrogations.
Patrick, I
So-
had to fucking record these.
oh man, brutal.
It's awful.
Yeah.
And you know what happens in a lot of these things? That's what you're talking about. Is like that delay thing where you've got some guy that you know they're squeezing out of it, right? But they're a lot of times they're trying to be like friendly with some shit that they caught.
Yeah, sure.
And then you see the person being interrogated. What they do is they look in another direction for like a couple of minutes, right? And you can actually see that they like had to shut down like 49 Chrome tabs to actually get the to get the memory back up because they're trying to spin some other web of bullshit.
Right. Yeah.
And the guys will just say like, look at me.
Right.
And it's like, okay, you know what that means when you look away and think for 5 minutes? You're gonna, okay, I'm gonna help you, but you gotta,
Yeah.
you know.
You gotta help me help you. Yeah, there was this one guy. He was an FBI guy. He was brilliant at it. He'd go in there and be like, "Hey, look, you know, I want the best possible outcome for you on this one, but from where I stand, these are your best options right now." So, and it's usually like you're not gonna die. All right, so you might not have to go to federal prison. So, you know, kind of thing.
Right.
So he'd always start like this. You know, he's like, "Hey, you know, this is what I need. Let's negotiate on this a little bit right off the bat." And so, and his thing was, just like, if anybody even takes a nibble at that, I got you.
Like, no, I didn't do anything. So option whatever it is, where I get nothing.
Yeah. Well, and his whole point was, he was like, I do this every day. They do it once. So...
Right.
That's
Yeah, that's a good point.
He says,
Yeah,
I've
that's a
seen
good
everything
point.
under the sun. You have not.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they bring up? Did he bring up like times when they were actually fooled, and they were like, "Dude, this guy."
Oh,
was.
well, this guy in particular, this was on a different podcast. He talked about people who knew that he didn't have enough. And so they would just fuck with him. So, and they were like, I know the law. I know where I'm at. I know what you have based upon what you've told me. And so as long as I never answer this question, I'm going home tonight. So, yeah.
Gotcha. That's an interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I still don't understand why those people elect to do that without representation.
Oh, no. And that's what everybody has universally said, that is like, yeah, no, if you ask for a lawyer, we're done. So,
Yeah.
you know, because anything that you say after this one, if you ask for a lawyer and I didn't get you one and you said something after that, that fucking,
It's
our
gone.
case is torpedoed.
Yeah.
Gosh.
So at that point in time, yeah. So, yeah, they were talking about that a little bit too.
It's not like that bullshit where they're like, can I get a lawyer? And the fucking cop is like, yeah, no problem. It's going to be a while before they get here, though.
Yeah, you can't do that.
No, you can't.
Yeah, no, if you say I want a lawyer, it's done. It's over. So they have to make a decision at that point. Now they're going to hold you till a lawyer comes, or they're going to turn you loose, or they're going to book you. So, and you can ask them right off the bat, am I under arrest? Am I being detained? And if they have to answer yes, no, and if they say no, then you leave. So
Hopefully, I never need that.
hopefully you never need that. Yeah.
Well, I know that's it. Wasn't that the biggest part of that was the human nature angle of people wanting to, if they've done something, right? The part of them that wants to not justify, but basically have their story be told, right? Where
Yeah, sure.
it's like no, you got it all wrong, right?
Right.
Right? It's like I didn't maliciously run over her with my car.
And I didn't know she was there. That's why I backed over her again.
You see them pause there for a minute, and they're gonna give you like a hypothetical. It's like, you ever try to give someone the last word and they won't take it?
Have you ever had one of those days?
That doesn't apply to this situation.
It doesn't apply to
But-
this situation at all, but I gotta tell you, I've had a bad day. So, I could just use a break.
Yeah, I know. I don't. I'd kind of struggle with that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I don't think I'd be very good at it.
Oh, no, I need a lawyer right away.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Lawyer.
I'm very, very much out of my depth.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
You aren't married to a lawyer, so I think that has to come up in your.
I've been told that many times. Lawyer. So, yeah. So,
Well, especially, I mean, we know people. It's like, well, this is how they get you. It's like, well, I don't want to get got.
I don't want to get caught. Yeah. I want to go home tonight, sleep in my own
Yeah.
bed. So,
So the other times it was like, well, you asked for, you got something to hide. It's like, what's it to you?
right, yeah, exactly.
I don't know. It does kind of sound appealing to be like the game of chess. Let's go.
That's a pretty fucking
You're-
dangerous game of chess, man.
Like,
So,
try like rollerblading.
yeah, exactly.
No,
Hang gliding. I hear that's
Yeah.
good this time of year.
Yeah.
Get kind of the same thrill.
Yeah.
So,
You ever heard guys where it's like, yeah, I'm into extreme sports, like fucking lying to the police.
right, yeah, exactly. Trying to get away with manslaughter.
Right.
You never know until you try. So I mean,
Mm.
No, I gotcha. No, that's that those shows are a pain in the ass because those, like, they do recordings on them, and those may have been, those might as well have been recorded from inside a toilet. And like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, you're supposed to be diligent on this, but like, there are sections marked inaudible.
no, that's where you use the playback enhance. And it comes in crystal clear.
Ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk. Yeah.
Some things that will allow me to take or add more bass to the audio file, but those also come with your computer.
Really? It doesn't just have like remove inaudible background noise.
Yeah,
and
clean
then
it all up.
perfectly
Yeah.
clear.
No, see, what you have to understand is they do this thing where after they give an interview over whatever boring thing they're talking about, right? So even when like the stupid housewives are sitting there just doing their dumb thing for about 30 seconds, when they're done, they get this thing called room tone.
Room tone?
Yes. So they have you shut the fuck up for about 30 to 45 seconds
Oh.
and record the ambient sound of the tone to basically, in
Oh.
post, run that against, that's like their algorithm to clear up.
Yeah, that's how they
Gotcha.
do the noise gate.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah, this does that too.
But they don't do room tone when they're fucking investigating some dude that shot some guy outside a nightclub.
Alright. You just pause 30 seconds. Wait, I thought there's tons of like quiet time.
They don't use that in a way to actually filter out the audio file they give you.
Seems
Right.
like it'd be there and it did, but okay.
If they're going to do that, they're going to do that on broadcast.
Yeah, not in an interrogation room. Man.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit. So, I mean, I'm sure they're better at it now, but, it just depends on the place. If Roscoe and Enos are setting up the fucking tape deck, then, it's going to get as good as it's going to get.
Oh, those guys. They put,
Push the button!
I think those dudes put a lot of innocent black guys in jail.
Yeah, probably. Well, the good thing about Hazard County Jail is it's only got 3 cells. So you get a new one, you let the old one go. Man, So,
You gonna be good?
you gonna be good? You good?
Yeah, I guess that's how it goes, man. You got Seniority in the cell. You're the first one out.
Yep, off you go.
Yeah.
So,
Interesting way of doing things.
Boss Hog has his own rules, man. So,
Is there a swamp behind the prison?
no, dude,
Not
this is the
those
70s, man. It's cool, man. So this is before Quentin Tarantino started making movies. So
Yeah, evidently he had a much different view of what the 70s is like.
he did, yeah. So that had more to do with flamethrowers and shit.
I mean, he seems to be in love with the era, but wow, did those guys come up on two different things.
They totally did.
Hollywood is rough, you know.
Well, I'll say this. There, like, 70s movies come in, like, exactly two flavors, right? Or TV shows. It is either, like, as carefree as it gets, like this, like your crime is moonshining.
Right, yeah.
Or it is fucking...
Death Wish.
Yeah, it's one of two things. It is either that, or it is, like apocalyptic and weird.
Rosemary's
or
Baby.
Just, yes.
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah.
Exactly. Fucking, The Extra. It's just like everything like that is in that same vein. Did you ever watch that, by the way?
Still have not seen
The Exorcist?
Yeah.
No. I haven't seen that in a while.
There's pretty much a cutoff date that
When it starts getting a little too grainy.
I
Right.
have not gone back.
Yeah.
The one I definitely get the most flack for is Godfather.
You haven't seen that? Yeah.
I don't even know if you'd like that. To be
Yeah, I
honest
don't know
with
if
you.
you'd like that, Will.
I really don't.
So, I don't know. I did see a compilation of clips the other day out of that. And when Mo Green gets shot in the eye, that's really bad.
Yeah.
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 That's really bad.
Evidently, that's actually a reference to something that I don't know. It's a reference to a famous killing, but I don't remember. I read the story about it a while back, but it's happened in a very similar way.
Yeah, but the guy just basically like lays his head back down. It's like you got shot in the eye, dude. So,
But that's the thing.
ham it up a little bit.
Somebody threw the pie. Yeah. No, evidently that's very similar to a specific event, but I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like how it went down.
That's okay. So they bought him out.
Yeah, they did.
They did.
You might like it. All right. So as long as you... Well, I've said this before, right? I think for you, there is a cutoff where I always tend to think like William would think this movie is so fucking boring, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of that movie that...
Oh my god, there's a lot of that movie.
like unless you buy into it like I do, it's like I bought the crap into it. It's like, oh, I'm hooked. I'm on the edge of my seat for all this talking, right? You could.
I mean, that's fine for some. Like, I loved Hidden Figures, and it's not really an action movie at all.
No, it's like
It's,
as much as math.
yeah. And I thought that movie was great. So if it can be done.
The Godfather kicks the living crap out of Hidden Figures, and I like Hidden Figures.
Really? Okay.
Which one is Hidden Figures?
It's about the three black ladies that did all that.
The map
Secret
for the
map.
moon thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I
love
like that
Yeah,
But-
okay.
I mean, The Godfather's better.
Yeah. So, it is on the top 10 list, so I don't
Like
think
every
of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
AFI always has it like number 2.
yeah, it's right up there with like Casablanca and Citizen Kane and fucking Ben-Hur and shit.
Well, there's that 5-way jerk-off fest between Citizen Kane,
Never
like you
seen
said, Casablanca.
Never seen that.
Casablanca is way better than Citizen Kane. So,
What's the good thing about Citizen Kane?
Citizen Kane, it's intriguing. So the entire thing, you kind of want to know what's going on. So, I mean, it's just like you see Orson Welles later in his career, and you gotta just post some of that back onto that.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and it's just like, oh man, this guy's crazy. So,
well, it's okay. So it's not just that. It didn't make sense to me until they, like in a film class, said, okay, so watch a movie before Citizen Kane,
Right.
then watch Citizen Kane, and you see how much it did
Yeah.
for movies. I'm like,
Okay, yeah, no, that's
that's
fair.
the
Yeah.
argument,
Yeah.
and I say, okay, I'll try that.
Yeah.
And then you watch this like practically vaudevillian nonsense.
That's all what it is. It's either that or you're watching what is it, Buster Keaton movies and stuff.
And some of that's magnificent.
Well,
But
yeah,
not...
you're just watching it for the stunts. You know he's not going to get murdered by that train, but you know he's not doing this with guide wires.
No, and it's framed like crap. It's just it's basically like those Buster Keaton movies look like the stunts are awesome, but it looks like they're filming it with like a like a dude is like go. And he's just it's like this because there's no movement to it, there's no composition, there's no business, there's no nothing, right? So it's like this is why they love this. I'm like, okay, so the other movies that are on that wank list, I think it's what Wizard of Oz and
Wizard of Oz,
Gone with the Wind, which
never saw it.
That movie is so ridiculously overrated.
God,
and it's long.
Yes. Intolerably long.
It is intolerably long.
Godfather, like the newest movie that makes that list.
Ooh.
Well, given that more people seem to think that Godfather 2 is the superior movie,
yeah.
Doesn't like Forrest Gump usually make it?
Not even close.
No.
No. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of backlash against Forrest Gump now.
Really?
Yeah.
Your Black Panther party.
Yeah, there's this.
It's like, oh yeah, white man hero. Got it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Did you see what Spielberg said about like E.T. and stuff?
What about it?
Like he went back and did like the re-editing and took out a bunch of the guns that people were holding and stuff.
Yeah.
And
the guns?
Yeah.
He
Why?
Because it was anti-gun movement stuff and all that.
Oh, it's no gun week.
And he was just like, yeah, you know what? That's like one of my biggest regrets.
What?
To go back and do it. He's like, no, that's the times.
Yeah,
we set these movies up in the times. That's how it was. We're not supposed to be trying to change history. We're not supposed to be. It's what it was.
Well, the reason that he went, so he went back on that because there was a pretty famous. He got stalked pretty hard.
Oh
right? Yeah. There was a really nasty stalking case against him where he was really fearing for his life.
Yeah.
And that was part of his like anti-gun phase where he kind of went back on this. But yeah, it's.
And like he was doing it in an interview with like a live audience, and he's like, "Yeah, we shouldn't be doing this and all that stuff," and it was just like silence. And then one guy was like, "Yeah," and then others were like, "Yeah."
Is it okay to laugh? They really want good movies again.
Well, I think so. Speaking of him, I mean, I think does Schindler's List didn't even crack that top 10.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah. I don't think that one would crack the top 10. It is a hard movie to watch. So
it's wonderful. It the story sucks.
The story's terrible. So you're like, oh, there's this red girl in a red jacket. It's a symbol of hope, Dad. Oops. So,
but there is, I mean, it's that. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to think of the most recent movie that actually starts to
crack that top 10.
Yeah, I've seen those lists where they have started like putting like 70. They've started putting like Star Wars on there.
Yeah, but not as like the greatest movie, but like most impactful.
Yeah, well, they've let it sort of cross over into that list, like that AFI list. They're starting to let that kind of like bleed over.
It's been a while since I've seen one of those A&E, top 100 countdowns or anything like that. I have no idea what's still on there.
I think Cool Hand Luke's going to make the top 10. I think.
Oh man, I haven't seen that in ages.
That movie's genius.
That movie's great.
It's a wonderful watch.
Dragonline's my favorite guy. It's like, why did I do that? I only had 6 more months. And I was
you might even like that movie.
Yeah, you might like that one.
Oh, you know what? Okay, that's right. Shawshank Redemption actually started. Yeah. I think that's the most recent one that's cracking the top 10. Yeah. That one's like universally, and I love that movie.
That movie's beloved. Yeah. So
I've watched that movie right now.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people say that's Stephen King's greatest work. So
as far as film goes,
well, he didn't direct it, but
but as far as like the story,
yeah. So, well, his greatest film adaptation.
Yeah.
Green Mile's spot on from the book.
Green Mile's really close. So I've never read the book,
It's-
Shawshank Redemption.
Oh,
so yeah,
yeah. I didn't even know that was
that's Stephen,
Stephen
King.
King
Yeah.
book before.
So no, the only movie he directed was that one with the trucks.
Maximum Overdrive.
Maximum Overdrive. Thank you, Jeff.
That movie is a pilot.
That
shit.
movie is
And
so
even he
bad.
says that, yeah.
Fucking M60 on a golf cart, man. It's called that a weapon. you
Look,
know?
man, there's a part of me that says, like, you either have to lean a little bit further this direction or a little bit further this direction.
Yeah.
But where you are right now,
It's terrible.
it's just not going to
It's
fly.
awful, man. Yeah. So,
And he's like, I was high as fuck. at
he
the
was.
time,
He was on
you know?
cocaine the
Yeah.
entire time. So
Yeah.
that's why you got this truck with this green goblin head on it. You couldn't even
It's-
drive the fucking truck
It's
with that thing
bananas.
on there,
Like,
yeah.
you're like, I can't believe this is the same guy. Yeah. I mean, look, actually, my favorite book is actually Pet Cemetery.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I even like the
The
movie.
truck's coming down the highway.
I'm not kidding you. I even like that movie. I like that movie quite a bit.
Did
Oh,
they
Fred
remake
Gunn makes
that?
that movie.
Huh?
Did they remake
They
that?
did.
They did.
Was
with,
it terrible?
It was bad.
Yeah, with fucking who's the guy? It's
Wasn't
the
it a
it's the dude from fucking Cliffhanger, the villain from Cliffhanger. It's
John
Lithgow.
John Lithgow. Yeah, you're right.
Okay. I
Yeah,
do
he
remember
plays
commercial
Judd,
now. Yeah.
so-
yeah. Okay.
Which doesn't work. So
no, the first one works because it's Time Trax and Tasha Yar.
it is. Yeah, it is.
Oh my god, I haven't
It
thought
is.
of time tracks in so long. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay.
yeah.
Huh. I can.
Dale
I can,
Midkiff. Yeah,
I could go for watching like 6 episodes right now. Just calling it
they're
good.
fine. I watched it like I don't know, like maybe like 5 years ago, back when like YouTube was positively not Hitlerian on their like copyright stuff, where people would dump shit that you hadn't seen in a while. You're
Yeah.
like, yeah. But it's not bad. It's not like of all those. I think they called them the action pack shows.
Okay.
That was my favorite.
The
Is that-
action pack.
Is that like
Yeah.
Quantum Leap and
Yep.
stuff too?
No, Quantum
Sliders.
Leap. No, yeah, Sliders was.
Sliders. Oh,
Sliders
man.
was. Hercules: The Legendary Journeys was. That's where that came from.
Oh, that's right.
Uh,
With Kevin Sorbo?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, that's where that came from. Like that Johnny Bago, and it was a guy that owned a Winnebago, and
I never.
That wasn't Briscoe
watched
County Jr. too, was it?
that was in that same.
Fuck, I love that show,
Yeah.
man.
Yep.
So that was. Oh God, Bruce Campbell at his best, man. So
Yeah,
outside of fucking Living Dead bullshit that he always got hooked into, but you know,
well, he was on another show called Jack of All Trades, which was not.
it was not good.
Well, it wasn't bad,
Yeah.
but you wouldn't keep watching it. It's
No.
like, I don't need this.
Yeah, I was like, "Where's the zombies?"
I mean, it was so. Yeah, I'm trying to remember the other. There were some other
it.
shows in there.
Kung Fu the Legend continues.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay,
oh, God,
yes,
Quinn JK.
Yeah.
yes. And it's not too far off from there that I think that like Babylon 5 comes out.
It's pretty
and
close. Yeah.
I think it's right in that same realm.
Still can't believe I never got into that.
You watched it.
I didn't.
You and Kevin watched it.
I know I watched it. I still have the DVDs. So yeah.
No, oh, I'm thinking Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, I never
No, I
watched
didn't.
that. Watch that.
No.
Okay.
No, I tried to
Babylon
watch.
5, yes.
I didn't watch the show. I sat down to watch it with you guys one time, and I knew nothing what was going on. The episode centered around this like fucking trash can with like a feeding tube.
I don't really remember much of Babylon.
But I was like,
Breathing too.
yeah, I don't know what this is. I'm like, sorry guys, I can't get into this. But you guys were hooked into the story at that point.
I'd have to see a couple to get the brainwaves going on that one again.
I remember there was a character named Garibaldi, and he had this like.
This is
weird...
Babylon 5.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, he was the station security chief.
Yeah, he had this weird hair.
I know the
this
trash
dude
can you're
bald
talking about, though, man. Yeah.
I was like,
So
this is a show.
it is a
And-
show.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and there's this guy who's got like fucking. He dresses like Napoleon. So. But he's got this, fucking crest hair, and yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's it. That's exactly it. And I mean, that being said, that was all of those shows were just like fill-ins for You're just waiting for Highlander to be on.
Oh God, yeah.
I did love that.
Everybody loved that. So it was so much better than the movie.
Which, oh, come on, man. Which one?
Well, the second and the third one.
Basically
sure.
everything except for the first one.
Well, then they had the crossover one too. So
yeah, I didn't love that.
no, that was terrible.
That-
It was like, wait a minute, there's two of you. I thought we always assumed that this was the same fucking guy. You know, it's just different actor. And then all of a sudden, no, there's two. It's like, you know, wait, what?
Well, Connor shows up in the first episode.
I thought it was the last.
No, like he introduced
the
series. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I just remember the crossover one. So later. So I didn't know that. But I watched that show religiously.
Yeah.
For like,
yeah.
I mean, it ran a long time. So.
Well, it was weird because I kept waiting for fucking Duncan to wax Richie, and when he did,
when he finally did, everybody was mad.
Lost interest in the show. I was like,
oh.
It
was like Richie went evil. What the fuck?
That's not why I wanted him to get waxed.
No, I just want to get waxed because he was a dork.
Just call him out to the backyard, and we got to do
this, man. It's going to be inevitable. It's going to be me or you. So let's just make sure it's you now.
Yeah,
you served your purpose.
Yeah, we were all waiting on that, and the show just kind of lost its teeth after that. You know, and they
he went to France, and it got weird. So yeah.
Well, they were also trying to spin off that one girl from that show too.
Right, his girlfriend.
Yeah, and I seem to recall that going nowhere.
There were a lot of shows at that point in time that went nowhere.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Remember that great bit when they brought Family Guy back? And Peter listed all the shows from Fox that got canceled.
Well, I'm not,
it was like a 4-minute bit.
Yes, I know. I'm talking about kind of like there's a certain golden era that were
that was right about in there, man, because like Highlander wrapped up, in the late 90s? So that's got to be right around in there.
That's a good question. That would be tough for me to even say when it began. I feel like I was watching it when I was 11 or 12, maybe even.
That's probably about right.
Yeah, that's probably about right.
Because I was like 14. Yeah. And then it finished.
High school.
Yeah, right about the end of high school. So 4-year stretch.
Yeah, I don't. What I couldn't tell you right now, I couldn't tell you if it went for like 3 years or if it went like 9 years.
I think it went like 8 or 9. Yeah.
It would not surprise me.
Really?
I think so. I remember that running for quite a while because they had a lot of changes of scenery and stuff in the background.
Oh,
yeah. You know, because he had that one place for a long time, and then he was on the boat, and then he was back in the other. Yeah, so you know.
I was always coming back to Joe's bar and.
Oh right, before Joe got murdered. Yeah.
So, Joe got murdered.
Joe got murdered. He got murdered by his own Watcher people.
Well, they all have to die at some point.
Well, no, he was mortal.
Yeah.
Remember, Joe was mortal. Oh yeah,
so,
I see what you're saying.
all...
Yeah.
But we thought that he wasn't for a second.
Yeah, that's true.
They kind of led you to think that he wasn't for a while.
And they had the whole thing with the Greek guy.
Had to feel it.
Oh, right.
yeah.
You can't be immortal.
He's got that Immortal Gaydar.
Yeah. The spider sense was tingling.
That's tingly. So I remember they had the one guy. It was one of my favorite episodes. They had the one guy who had like the 2 goons with him.
Oh yeah.
Who would just machine gun the fuck out of somebody, and then he just go over there and chop his head off.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy's gonna win.
You game the system.
You game the system. You got this honor shit. So it was one of those episodes. Like, why didn't I think of that?
It was rough, man. I'm not saying that there was just something that was kind of like magical about that time where I don't want to say the shows were like that experimental or I wouldn't have watched them. Like if they were so far out there that are like, okay, this is bizarre, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there was something that was like kind of middle between there where they were kind of pushing a couple of boundaries that like, I do like these shows. I do like time tracks. I do like,
I dug all those, yeah.
Some of these.
Well, they take a lot more chances, man, and it wasn't as paint by numbers as it is now. I mean, you can fucking thank cable for all of that. So,
wow.
I mean, I watched the whole thing bleed over from fucking Discovery Channel, to the point in time where they got their super mega hit, out of like with the fishing goddamn boats.
Oh,
the crab boats, yeah, stuff
yeah.
like that, and then. You know, it's like, oh, well, we're gonna watch quote unquote real people. You know, and then you get all the housewives shows and shit like that. You know, it's just like everybody has their own channel now, rather than the 3 that you'd watch because ABC had nothing on except for Sunday.
Wide World of Disney.
Right. Yeah, you wait until you get to see an actual Disney movie. So
Yeah.
you know,
Got all your family TGIF. And...
you did well, and that they also did the America's Funniest Home Videos.
Yeah,
they did.
Which was a precursor of like fucking YouTube. So
Like, you know, it's funny that you say that. Yeah, because that's all that it is.
Yeah.
Right? And when you watch that formula get washed to the point where, can we bring this back in a totally asinine way? It's like, yes, that would be Daniel Tosh's show.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right.
Or it would be goddamn ridiculousness. And
they sure loved that at the rig.
yes, they did.
Ridiculous.
And that fucking girls, like that hyena.
Oh yeah.
It's like, how can
God, her
you
name was
tolerate
something
this?
stupid.
It was like something like it was like a
like
soda.
half chewed bubble gum or something.
Yeah,
No,
it was like there was like a saint in there, but it was like it was like yeah, what is that fucking like knockoff like seltzer water at like it was like
Yeah.
springtime Saint Croix or something like that. Something fucking dumb.
It was yeah.
And she never contributed. Right? That's not good, but I mean, it's just like, I can't do it.
I think we got the idea, man. Yeah, so yeah.
I watched so many hours of this, man. It's just so goddamn annoying. Where it's
and okay, if you take the show for what it is, for all that too.
yeah,
The dumbest part though is when it would go to a commercial, or actually it was the intro to the show. It would show it would show part of every clip they were going to show in the show. Like it would show the highlight of whatever clip it was. So it's like, you just gave me 30 seconds of the best part of everything in the show.
Right, just to get me to stick around. Yeah,
I was like, this is the dumbest formula I've ever seen. You can't do every single clip and just be like, yeah, just stick around.
well, I can't. The formula, the format just bothered me from the beginning. It's like, all right, so he's standing. He's going to stand the whole time, right? And who is it? Is Rob something? Rob
Drystack or
just
and
fucking.
it was Skilo Brown or Stilo Brown or something like that.
Well, he wasn't super fat, was he?
No.
No, that would be CeeLo. It was
I
guy.
remember CeeLo.
And just whoever there's just like God, it's so dumb. It's like Nike Saint Reebok. It's that stupid. It's got no, it is. It's like that dumb. It's like a company name.
It is, yeah. But yeah, I can't.
But yeah, she's so annoying. And then you would have, so they're talking about the clips, and then they would also have like, well, who's your guest today? Oh, it's some rapper I never heard of. So let's hear his contributions to watching basically like YouTube clips. Oh, that was funny.
Yeah, it was brutal.
Yeah, it's just paint by numbers TV, man. So, you know, we'll see.
That would be
Chat GPT will fire them all.
King of Queens. Like, I don't think there's ever been like a more paint by numbers show than like the King of Queens and.
Yeah, but I mean, so at least it was still on a network though. So you know, and I mean, it ran for what, almost 10 years.
Yeah, there are people that have great reference for that show.
I get that, but you know, at the same point in time, I mean, it's not. I mean, at least you could find it. Now, like, you turn on anything, it's fucking. You know, you got a 90% chance that it's garbage. So. You know, it's different. So back then, at least you could wait half an hour and something else would come on. Or you'd wait a little bit later and you get Seinfeld reruns or something. Man. So, you know. Yeah, no, it's so fractured now. I mean, I can go on YouTube and get whatever the fuck I want. So, you know, same thing with like 9 different subscription services out there. I buy one. So that means I see what's on that one.
Right.
You know, so I have no idea what's going on anywhere else. So, no fucking clue.
Okay, the most refreshing show that I've watched, and you can watch this too because you have a Crunchyroll subscription, is this bizarre show that I fell in love with called Odd Taxi.
Okay.
It's about this walrus that drives a taxi.
Go, okay.
Okay.
Is it animated?
Yes.
Okay.
Nah, they trained this walrus.
Well, I was about to
That
say
would be
you don't
a
fucking know
fucking show.
anymore,
That
man.
would be
Yeah.
well. That would be.
This is
Okay.
Mr. Ed.
So
We're about 30 minutes away from them making shows just out of thin nothing.
Guys.
So
we came from an era where in prime time Friday night they had Jim Henson's Dinosaurs,
I remember that.
a sitcom.
Yeah.
Right. So you're not that far off. You could that your question is like, is it animated? Could be.
Well,
Right.
yeah, fair. Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's about this middle-aged walrus guy that drives a taxi, and you are not ready for the kind of like,
Is Cliff from Cheers his voice?
I wouldn't know. Will these are
John Ratzenberger died.
these are all. I wouldn't watch this dub.
Oh,
to save
gotcha,
my life.
gotcha.
What are you, insane?
Where's it from?
Oh, Japan.
It's
Oh, I can't. Yeah, I can't watch that.
Like you can tell me how the actual voices are, but that's ridiculous. You watch them you watch whatever show in the native language it comes from.
I know that's your theory, man. But see that requires that I watch the subtitles, which means I actually have to pay attention to it.
That is true.
I have gotten to the point in time where if I can't listen to it, it doesn't get watched anymore, man. So, like that Northman, when we watched that,
Yeah,
I had to fucking pay attention to that shit.
yeah, me too.
Yeah, so no, I don't want to do that anymore. So,
Look, it has other voices. You can listen to those. I'm sure they're fine, but the purist in me says
Oh, okay.
that if it's in French, you watch it in French. If
Yeah.
it's in Japanese, if it's in German, it's whatever. You watch it in its native language.
okay.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
that was a brilliant show. It
Mhm.
is not what I expected at all. I fell in love with it. And then it ends. And I have questions.
That's a good place to be.
Yeah.
That's a
I
good
have
place to be.
questions. All right. So, any last thoughts?
Nuggets are up 2-0. They're steamrolling.
Jesus.
We're going.
Who else is looking hot right now that it's looking like they might run into on the other side if they make it all the way through?
Well, the Bucks got kicked, so it'd be either Celtics or Sixers, but probably Celtics.
Are you afraid of either of those teams?
I'm just ready to go to the finals, man.
Oh, okay.
But it's Warriors versus Lakers.
Oh,
So the NBA is going to want one of those two to go face the Celtics, not the Nuggets.
You know what the problem is, Will? Once you catch a referee messing up the games for gambling purposes, you can't ever take them seriously again.
They'd make it subtle.
I don't care. But if you get your hand in that cookie jar,
yeah.
The Nuggets are going to have to be really good
bump off the...
to bump off that the NBA wants Lakers or Warriors versus the Celtics.
What should happen to a referee that does that?
I'm guessing he doubles his pay.
Well, so
Going back to the interrogation question, what
I
would
was
you
gonna say,
do
like-
as far as the punishment goes?
for ruining the sanctity of a game, I
Yeah.
mean, you saw those pictures of Mussolini, like... After...
Piano wire, huh? So I was thinking hot tongs and just taking a few chunks of flesh off, but you never know. You got to make it a point so that the rest of them never do that again.
See?
So yeah,
Yeah.
like, do you need two hands in order to referee?
Basketball?
Yeah, I think you could probably get away with
You
one.
usually grab the ball and you pass it to people.
Well, you
So
can get
to
one of those
referee.
sticky gloves to referee. So
Well, yeah, I mean the ref usually they have to hand the ball off and like get the ball. It'd be a little weird for him to, or maybe he's like Jim Abbott
Right, that's exactly
and
what I'm
they
thinking.
give him
Yeah.
an oversized glove and
what if you
He
just
just
melt
cut.
his hand a little bit?
Go on.
I don't know. I'm just brainstorming here.
with integrity, just kind of like emblazoned on his hand.
I think you'd actually have to maim the guy so that everybody got the
See,
idea.
here's the thing: is if it's about this is the thing is if we're looking at lopping off hands, this is my problem. Is
Okay.
when it comes to like violations of ref interference,
Mhm.
right? You have to think of the poetic punishment, and losing a hand doesn't seem like it would be.
How about an eye?
This is what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
okay.
Yeah, right.
There we go.
This is what I'm talking. You have to basically punish them for like this is like the
But see, the thing about the eye is you could do the Dan Crenshaw thing and actually get the cool looking fucking patch.
absolutely.
So I think we should chop an ear off instead, because that's always going to look weird.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, I
right.
think
This
we-
is where you
yeah,
have to
all
think
right,
about
man.
what fits the.
I knew we'd come. We'd come
You've
together
solved
on
it.
this one.
something like or like the tongue's coming out or something like this.
This is old Pete. He
That's
can
gonna
blow his
ruin-
whistle, and that's about it.
It's gonna ruin TV. Yeah, they have to talk.
No, they don't.
The NFL refs don't, but the NBA ones always talk.
They can. We can develop hand signals to make that work. So
We have 3 different sign languages.
that's correct.
That's diverse as shit.
Yeah, you even have to hire someone to be in the corner, whenever he's doing his thing.
Oh God!
Oh wait, well actually we're forgetting about the one that they like.
Oh, okay.
What?
Nothing.
No, it was just the 7th thing. You cut the nose off.
See, that's hard to look at, though, man. So,
It's supposed to be.
yeah, I know, but that's a
Just
little bit
target
much. You
the
don't
right
want to scare
skull.
the children. So, yeah, and you can get a thing that you put on there, so that
You know what? Okay.
That
You know,
falls off occasionally. So
Well,
it's
now
like
if you get a
comic
good one.
relief.
so
we have to do a couple of things, and I would argue, and I'll end with this.
okay.
If the NBA wants to succeed, they would start next season and put a moratorium.
Oh, no. I don't. We don't want to hear this.
What?
This is going to sound like your Super Bowl idea.
Oh wait, no.
No,
Okay,
I wanna
okay,
hear it.
okay,
Oh.
okay.
Yeah.
They put a moratorium on all rap music in the NBA.
Yeah, okay. He just went over the skis on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It had nothing to do with the ref.
right,
In the
yeah.
slightest.
No, it doesn't. This is just something I want to get on the record.
I told you we didn't want to hear this.
Right, yeah.
No, you can
I had
hear
the
it.
wrong reason.
You can
but...
hear it. You just don't want to dive into it.
I thought it was a good idea to start with chopping off the nose. So, I'm Pat.
I'm Will.
I'm Jeffrey.
I'm hitting the button.
I've seen all 4 critters.